Welcome to the first late night episode. This is episode 27, and I'm recording this at night. Usually I don't because I record them in my apartment whenever I'm home. But today's a little bit different because I was just feeling it late at night, and I'm actually on the rooftop of my apartment. And we have these little pods where there's actually sound panels on the wall right here. And this is what gave me the inspiration to make the podcast. I was up here working one day, and I saw the sound panels, and I was like, dang, I have the opportunity to use these spaces for free, and I can really use them as much as I want. Why not start a podcast? And obviously I ended up recording it down in my apartment, but maybe if I had a guest on or something, we would record it up here. Sorry if there's a little bit of chatter. There's some other people up here right now, but it shouldn't be too bad. And I had a weird day today. I woke up and I was kind of feeling like crap, and just feeling what I think a lot of creatives are feeling right now. Obviously, December and January are the slower months in this business. A lot of people aren't necessarily working a ton in December, and whenever people aren't working, there's not a whole lot of work. Aside from events, there's a decent amount of events that happen around the holiday season, and on top of that, January is obviously people see the results of them not working in December in January because, if you're not working, then the next month is going to be a little bit slower because you didn't necessarily put in the time. I mentioned this in a reel before. It's Ed Milet's 90-day rule. Obviously, it's not 90 days between December and January, but it's a cool concept if you've never heard of it. The 90-day rule is when you do something today, it's not necessarily going to affect you tomorrow. If you slack, if you don't work out, if you make a really bad choice that you shouldn't have, it's not going to affect you tomorrow, but you'll see the effects of it in 90 days. So that's a cool idea because you don't necessarily see the bad things that you do the next day. Sometimes you do something very terribly that you feel the repercussions the next day, but something like not working out, something like slacking when you work out, something like not giving enough effort to your relationship, you're not going to see the bad things happen until 90 days from now, because the next day, it seems like you just had a bad day, but it ends up compounding whenever you do these things, whenever you end up slacking, and whenever it compounds, you definitely see it in 90 days from then. If you're not giving effort in a relationship, if you continue to do that, 90 days later, it's going to probably end. People get fed up. But aside from that, today's podcast is about something that I've been not struggling with, but I've just been thinking about a lot recently. And it's about when you start something, you should finish it. This is a pet peeve of mine, especially in the creative world, is people aren't consistent. It's very easy to say that you're going to start a daily vlog, but actually going through and doing that, not really that doable. It's a lot more work whenever life gets in the way. And whenever life gets in the way, it's easy to slack. It's easy to have some things go on the back burner. But at the same time, you can kind of put a schedule to whatever you're doing in a manner that you can keep up with. You can just say you're going to post less, because then maybe you can record some stuff and get it on the back burner. For example, this podcast, I don't record every Monday, Wednesday to post on Tuesday, Thursday. That's just not doable. It's not possible for me to be able to turn them around like that. It is, but it's not sustainable. It is possible, but it's not sustainable. And I think that's something that you should keep in mind. Whenever you say you're going to post every Tuesday, Thursday, you better post every Tuesday, Thursday. You might have the busiest month coming up, but that month doesn't start until the next week. So instead of waiting and just kind of pausing the podcast, then maybe you record enough podcasts to have ready for those busy weeks. I know in the next couple of weeks, I have some longer shoots where I'm traveling for longer extended periods of time. And so I'm going to have to record these ahead of time so I can still put them out whenever I guarantee it. It's all about keeping up. If you're at least 2 weeks ahead with something like this, things can happen, but you're still going to be ready to go. You're still going to be able to keep up so that your viewers know that it's going to consistently come. Whenever you're starting out on YouTube, whenever you're starting out on social media, you want to build a good reputation with your audience. And saying that you're going to post on a schedule and then actually following through with that is going to help. That's one of the biggest things that you can do is build trust. You don't necessarily know these people. You don't know these people that you're interacting with on social media. So you saying that you're going to post Tuesday, Thursday, and then doing that for an entire year, that's going to build a reputation. People are going to know that they can rely on you. And better yet, they're going to start caring about you, because if you miss a day, they're going to be concerned. And they're going to start caring more. You're going to be embedded into their life. You're going to be part of their schedule every week. Tuesday, Thursday, they know a new podcast is coming out, so they're going to want to log on and know that it will be there. Even on top of that, you can go one step further and guarantee that you will post at a certain time. So if it's Tuesday, Thursday, you say Tuesday, Thursday at 9 a.m., then they know when that's going to be out. That's a lot harder to do, in my opinion, because say the video is not ready the day before, it's not edited and exported the day before, then you have to get up earlier and make that happen the next day. Also, if you have editors or something like that, you need to just be transparent with them. I don't really care about posting at a certain time every day. I just want to make sure that I do post on the days that I guarantee it. But that is a cool thing, and maybe it's the next step for me. Maybe it's something that I could do down the road. But whenever you say something, you should do it. You want to build a reputation. And whenever you start something, you should finish it. Growing up, my parents really embedded this into me. They wouldn't let me quit anything. No matter how much I hated it, they wouldn't let me quit. And that is something that has stuck with me. I didn't really realize it at the time that it meant anything. But now that I'm an adult, I'm not just going to quit something because I don't like it. There's things that you're going to have to do even if you don't like it. And it sucks sometimes. Trust me. Everyone knows that if you're not doing something that you love, it sucks, especially if you have to do it every single day. But instead of quitting right away, maybe you find a way to shift out of it. Maybe you take a baby step so that you can get out of it eventually. That's something that you can do. You don't want to quit. Whenever you start something, whenever you make a commitment, you better go through with it. In my world, if I start a project and then don't actually finish it, I shouldn't get paid. I don't get paid if I do that. And I'm not going to do that. So you need to know that you just need to be a person of your word. You need to be a man of your word. And whenever you start a project, I would say give it some time. With this podcast, as you see, there's not many people watching, but that's okay. I'm not going to quit tomorrow because the views aren't there. How many YouTube channels have you seen that blow up after a month of posting? I don't even know how long I've been doing this. A month, 2 months maybe? Probably not even 2 months. Probably about a month. And if I expected it to blow up that quick, I'd be crazy. So don't just quit on something. Even if it's a good thing, don't quit on it right away because it's not finding the success that you really wanted to. Because people have to come, it has to hit the algorithm correctly. People have to like you. And for people to like you, you have to put out a lot of episodes. Very rarely will somebody just watch one episode and then recommend you to somebody. My favorite YouTube channel right now is Colin and Samir. And I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's all about the creator economy. The creator economy, if you're not familiar with it, is just kind of the business of creators. They talk about, a recent episode was Logan Paul releasing his new hydration drink. They talk about Mr. Beast making the Squid Game video, and they talk about the numbers behind it. They talk about all the business stuff behind it as well as the strategy. And it's really interesting for somebody like me because I'm inspired by those people. And whenever they really break it down and explain how it's done, how they made it happen, for Mr. Beast's sake, they talked about the different things that he had to do to actually make it happen. I think they said he spent like $2 million on that set. And then they also talked about how apparently he might be going through a lawsuit. I think they mentioned that in that video. I could be wrong. But I think it's really interesting. And a big thing that they preach is having a brand identity. Now, I'm still working on that. And I think that a brand identity starts with having a posting schedule. Whenever you just post super inconsistently, you have no identity. The beginning of your identity can be saying that you're starting a project and posting certain days and then actually doing it. And that's where I'm starting. They go even further and made a good point by saying, like, whenever a client reaches out to you, you need to actually put together like a pitch and stuff. You need to give them all of the ideas that you have so that they know exactly what you're creating. So you have no problem doing that for a client. Why don't you do that for yourself? I know that I'm totally capable of putting together this really good podcast with maybe even multiple cameras, multiple microphones, and I know I'm capable of doing that. But why am I not willing to actually put together that branding piece, put together the different ads for myself, but I'll do it for other people? And it probably is a financial thing. Whenever I'm getting paid to do it, I can rent different gear and just put in more effort. But this is for me. Everything that comes out of this goes towards me. If I end up making money, that's my money. So that should be enough reason, if you truly believe in it, to keep going. And whenever you start something and you quit, it says a lot about you. And it says a lot about your personality. It says a lot about how you'll handle other things, and not just in work, but just everything. You have to be a problem solver. You have to be willing to solve these problems that are tough. But whenever you just quit on them, it's not good. Whenever you quit, you look like a piece of shit, And it says a lot about somebody whenever you just stick through it and keep going, because life is long. I struggle with this personally, but I have to keep constantly reminding myself that I'm 21 years old. What I'm doing right now is a building block. I don't have to have every single thing figured out right now. And it's tough doing a project that isn't necessarily working. I could probably be putting the time and money that I'm putting towards something else to get more clients. But at the end of the day, in an ideal world, I would love to do this full time. I would love to do a YouTube channel full time and not necessarily rely on clients all the time. That's my personal preference, and who knows, it can change down the road. But for now, I'm going to keep putting my time on this, because I would feel like I started it and I put a lot of effort into it. If I stopped it so soon, who knows what it could have been? Who knows what it could have turned into one day? And I think that if I don't at least give this a chance, I will look back at it with just as much uncertainty as I would have if I never started it. I always said I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and here I am. I'm doing it. But I think if I quit tomorrow, I would actually have more regret than if I never started it. Knowing that I started it and then just completely stopped. I started it and got some momentum going and then completely stopped. I think I would really just hate myself for that, and I would be really mad at myself. And I think that's something to consider too. I think it's you have to realize what you really want. You have to realize what you really care about. If you hate it that much, then find a way out of it fast, but don't quit right away. If you're mid-shoot and somebody's making you mad, don't just walk out of the shoot. You look unprofessional. You're better than that. I know I'm better than that. I would never do that. So you shouldn't do that either. And that would be a bad reputation that you would have then. You might get blacklisted by some people. You might not get a call back from that client. But my biggest pet peeve is whenever people start stuff and don't finish it. Whenever people don't realize that they are on the right track. And I actually struggle with that. I know that I can do what I say I can do. I know I can build a business if I want to build a business. I know I can build this. But I need to stay on that. And it's hard to remind yourself of that in the slow times. it's hard to remind myself that I can build a business even whenever I am slow right now. It's hard to remind myself that I am only 21 years old, and with that, it's okay that I'm not absolutely crushing it, making $1 million a year, because I'm doing well for right now. You're not going to get everything you want right away, and I'm saying this to remind myself of that, because I had a conversation earlier today where I really struggled with it, and I was kind of beating myself up about it. I was beating myself up about how things are slow and how it stressed me out and how I'm worried that this year might not be as good as the next, but I need to stop thinking about that. I need to just keep punching the bag, keep doing what you know you can do. And I know I keep saying this in different podcasts, but that's what I'm feeling right now. And I'm sorry if I'm getting repetitive, but it's coming from the heart. So if you guys enjoy this, share it. I do this because I want it to turn into something eventually. I know it's not going to happen right away, but I appreciate you being an early supporter. I know it's a lot of people that I know personally watching right now. If I don't know you, throw a comment down below. I'd love to meet you, because that's cool. You're supporting a good thing right here. You're supporting my passion, what I want to do. So I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace. Thank you.